What's up guys, it's Wataru here. Ever wondered why you don't get along with your classmate or colleague in the office? You would definitely have come across a person who's always direct in saying things, or a person who's always a perfectionist and he can do his job but really slow in doing it. In this video, I will be sharing with you guys the 4 different types of human behaviors and how you can adopt to each of them without getting offended, irritated, and pissed. This will allow you to understand why they act the way they act and be able to use the understandings to tolerate their actions. This is from the book Surrounded by Idiots, which was written by a Swedish behavioral scientist, Thomas Erikson, who provides around 150 talks and speeches on human behaviors around the world. As I was reading it, many of the behaviors were super relatable, and I believe you can share this feeling with me after watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please press the red button below to subscribe and also the notification button for notifications. Then let's dive into the 4 different types of human behavior of red, yellow, green, and blue. Have you come across this person who always wants things to be fast and calls you slow? And regardless of how much you work your ass off to be fast, it's not fast enough? Yes, this is the red straight. For this person, everything's a battle and he must win in everything. Even if there is nothing to compete, he creates his own competition in his head for whatever there is, like who eats the fastest or even who types the email fastest. As this kind of person is more task-oriented than relationship-oriented, he will say whatever he thinks without considering what you feel after being said. This is why he has many enemies and might be shut out from the people. Reds are very confident in which they believe their ways are the best ways and thinks he's the best in a team. Therefore, he's seen as very controlling. But don't dislike the Reds, it's just the way they communicate. Then we have the yellow, the happy guy in the room. He can literally talk and make everyone in that room happy, and the party doesn't start without him. This person, unlike the Reds, is relationship oriented and wants everyone to be happy, and he feels bad if someone is not. He's very optimistic about things and excellent in having selective memory. He remembers only what's good for him, and if it's bad, he will remember in a way that is better for him. This kind of person is always better to be around, except when you want to talk about serious stuff. He's an extremely bad listener. He wants to talk more than listen, and it's usually about himself. And for yellows, synonyms of the word good are greatest, newest, and latest. Whatever it is, he will be the first one to know the trends, and he will most likely be spreading it because he just want to talk. Greens, on the other hand, are reserved unless you get to know them closer. What's very important for them is to leave a good impression for everyone they meet. They hate having conflict and avoid it at all costs. This is why Greens, instead of saying this movie was bad, they will tell you, I know a better movie. They are also the kindest and will go an extra mile for you to make you happy. As this is important for the Greens, they are the best in listening regardless of any matter, unlike the yellows. And to maintain peace, they don't propose anything new to get the spotlight or tell anyone off, as this will risk burning bridges. You can say that Greens are the mix of reds, yellows, and blues, and this covers the largest fraction in most population groups. Blues are the introverts and knows it all, like literally, because for them, what's important is quality and details of things that they do. But as they put too much focus on perfecting their crafts, Reds will see them as very slow. The Blues will always double checks and triple checks on the things before submitting something. This really irritates the Reds. But like Reds, they are more task oriented than relationship oriented. Like during the working hours, it's just work, and casual talks are only after the work is done. In addition to this, Blues are realists, or we should call it pessimists, because they see things critically, like the cup is half empty instead of the cup is half full. Therefore, like the Greens, they don't like changes, as they see many negatives before the positives. This will also mean that they are not flexible in thinking and actions. If there is a set way of doing something, they need to follow that way, or else they will start panicking and feel down later in the day. I am sure you can relate people for each color behaviors. Everyone belongs to at least one color, if not mix of 2 or 3, but never 4. Then now you know the traits of each colors, let me explain how you should behave when you meet them. So when you come across a red, hurry up and be fast. Check the clock and try to speed up everything as much as possible and get the job done. Speed and results are all they want, so casual talks and small details are just a waste of time. And also, expect a harsh comment regardless of where you are, either with your colleagues or in private. So in these situations, you gotta also tell them the benefit of slowing things down and how feedback should not be given in front of everyone in the room. Just imagine the red manager giving a harsh feedback at the end of the week to our colleague. This will spoil his whole weekend and reduces the productivity when he gets back to the office on the following Monday. But you must choose when to tell him. Make sure you have enough energy to speak back without being overwhelmed. The worst thing that could happen is you getting overwhelmed, as Reds will think that they won and see you as small. The second point is, as small details are not really important for the Reds, they're not afraid to try on new things. This is very good, but because of this, there could be a major error. So you gotta inform them about the disadvantages that will affect the overall results in the end. The third point is to tell them to adapt to others, as they are often focused only on themselves and their own things. Tell them that by doing this, they will not be excluded. But when you say this, expect answers like, "I'm not excluded, what are you talking about?" as their egos will take over. And the fourth point is, when you see them coming off too aggressive, like to the point of bullying, confront them immediately. And if he loses his temper, just leave the room. Usually Reds uphold high standards for themselves, so you can see them often in leadership positions. By knowing this, you can react appropriately when the things goes down. Alright then, let's move on to when you come across a yellow. So you need a plan when you want them to remember something important. Yellows are really bad at listening, although they won't admit. So tell them exactly what you want them to understand and what do they need to do. Omit all small details, as this will bore them. And make sure to follow up consistently, they just won't remember. Yellows are like more talk, no work kind of people, hence push them to do work consistently. The best way is to flatter them, like, by doing this, you will be even more popular, or tell them, you will be greater if you do this. The ultimate way to convince or pull yellows' attention is to highlight words like new and greatest, because they love that. Use these words to pull them into what you need them to do. The next is greens. So what should you do when you come across a green? First of all, if you are with a bunch of greens, you gotta take the lead, or most likely nothing will start. This is as they don't want to have the spotlight. Second, they hate conflicts, so when you want to comment about them, do it in private. Tell them how changing things up will be better for the team. Don't tell him to change his behavior, but instead specifically tell him what he needs to do. And for them to accept change, they will need some time until they feel the need of change. Logic is not enough for them. So if you can convince everyone else around the greens, they might feel the importance of those changes you want to make. Greens always set tone with people around them, so in a good way, they seldom make enemies, and in a bad way, they can be exploited. Then let's move on to the blues. They're very detailed, and they expect you to be detailed as them. So you need to do your homework and be prepared for anything if you want to see them. Even if you've managed to answer their questions and doubts, don't expect any compliments because they have expected it. They simply don't realize that others aren't like them and assumes everyone else too focuses on details and assess things critically. Hence remind them not to always be critical, as nothing will get done and no one will appreciate that negativity. The second point is that blues are slow. They don't realize time, as what's more important for them is to deliver quality and perfection. Don't tell them bluntly to hurry up, as this will make them even slower. Just tell them that it will go against the whole timeline and what's done is already perfect. And the third point is that if there is no answer to a problem, remind them that it's okay to follow their guts. Reds and yellows are really good in this, but without prior preparations, blues just can't start, as they fear the risk of failing. So that's all for how you should deal with each person who carries different color traits. Which color can you relate to yourself and your friends? Let me know by commenting on the comment section down below, and if you liked it, please hit the like button and press the subscription button also down below. Thanks guys. Cheers.